Coach Charlie here with another episode of How to Be Your Ultimate You. So when you think of clean consumption, what normally comes to mind? Like when you hear the word organic, what do you think of? Food, right? I did too. And when I started the world into natural and non-toxic, that's really the first go-to that I was thinking of and considering and changing my world was food. Well, when you think about the body and what it requires, there's actually a couple of things that come before food. The number one thing is oxygen. You have to have oxygen. You can only go 7 minutes without oxygen. So the number one thing that your body has to have. And that's why you hear a lot of talk now about alkaline eating and alkaline diets and alkaline food and alkaline water, because alkalinity and pH of the body is important and it increases your oxygen consumption. So that is going to help the vitality of your body. And so some other things that you can do besides food, you can actually do cardiovascular exercise, and you can start doing like meditation and breathing exercises, and all those things are important to your oxygen consumption. Actually, if you're interested, I have on my website, which is beyourultimateyou.com. It's kind of a little bit of a funky spelling, so I'll put the name on the screen for you there. But if you go to my website, you can get my free guide to alkaline eating. And it's not only going to talk about foods that you should eat, but how to make them taste good, which is really important, because if you want to incorporate something into your world, you have to enjoy it. So besides oxygen, what's the next most important thing? Well, water. You can only go 4 days without water, and your body is comprised of 70% water. 70%. That is a lot when you really sit down and think about it for a moment. So it's incredibly, crucially important, not only because of how much water your body needs, but because of what your body does with that water. Two important functions that you need with the water. One is detoxification. You need to urinate, you need to move your bowel, you need to sweat. Those are all ways that your body removes toxins. And so the more water you have coming into your body, the more toxins can be going out. And especially in today's toxic world, ridding yourself of as many toxins as possible is really important. So that's the one function. The other one is that the way that your body absorbs nutrients. You know, your digestive system breaks down nutrients, and it has all these sitting in your system, and they're waiting to be absorbed. Well, what is the vehicle for that absorption? It is water. And so it really matters how much water is in your system and the quality of the water, for that matter. So let's talk about quantity. You want to be consuming about half your body weight in ounces every day. So that means you want to take your body weight, whatever that is, cut it in half, and that's how many ounces of water that you should be consuming each and every day to properly hydrate your body. And just even like your skin, you know, your skin will be more vibrant and elastic and plump and not as wrinkly when you're drinking a proper amount of water. So quantity is important. Just as important, if not more, is the actual quality of the water that you're drinking. And I think most people are turned on to this and understand that quality of water matters. In fact, in our country, in the United States, we spend about 2,000 times the amount of money on bottled water as we do tap water. There's a reason for that. Obviously, most people trust that bottled water is better for you. It's actually twice as much money as a gallon of gasoline. We're spending that on water. So it shows that we believe that bottled water is better. So I'm going to show you today in this little experiment here, not only how to not be wasting ridiculous amounts of money on bottled water, but not to be making that huge eco footprint on our world for our next generation with the plastics that are in the process of making bottled water that we don't need when we have a better solution and a cheaper solution and a more effective solution. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to go over with you kind of like this little experiment here and how I did this. So basically I'm testing several different types of waters, from tap water all the way to the fancy alkaline that everybody's into now, and a few different types of bottled waters. Well, how did I do that? Well, basically what I'm using is ionic sulfite minerals. So what these are is these are naturally occurring in the environment. They're found in oceans, the natural springs, any natural water source that God has provided has ionic sulfate minerals in it, and it's to naturally clean the water. What it does is it neutralizes all the toxins and it makes them precipitate out all the non-organic matter so that only what's left is what you're supposed to be drinking, which is mineral-rich natural water. And the minerals that we're specifically talking about are ionic, they are electric, they are the only types of minerals that your body recognizes. So putting in the good stuff, getting out the bad stuff. So let's start with tap water, okay? So tap water, I think we're all kind of going to know, is going to be the worst of the worst. So I'm going to kind of come around here so you can sort of see what happens here. We put these ionic sulfite minerals in here, and you can see this precipitate that eventually comes out of the water. And so you can see we have a nice clean glass of water here, and all of the non-organic material that's not supposed to be in your water, that's what ends up coming out there. So that's our tap. Let's look at, this is the filtered water from my fridge. This is what we were actually scarily drinking and using in our ice cubes and stuff. So it's not really a whole lot better than the tap water. Then we have here, this is the water from a water fountain. Obviously it has a better filter on it than my fridge did, but you can still see that there's stuff in the bottom of that that you would not want to be drinking. And then this is the popular fancy alkaline water that everybody's into now. And you can see, even though you spend tons of money on that stuff, there's still toxins in there that you don't want in your water. And then you look at the bottled waters, okay? So, and I'm not picking on any particular brand for any particular reason other than just trying to get a variety. So this is Voss. This is a pretty, I would say premium water brand. And there's not a whole lot of precipitate there, but you can just see that the water pretty much overall is very cloudy. It's very yellow. And obviously there's stuff in there that's not supposed to be in there, or that wouldn't be happening. Then take a look at this. Okay, so this is Deer Park. And then what I did here is I started with this glass and I put the Deer Park in here, and then to sort of just do an apples to apples and try to get it into one of these types of glasses, after a few days I poured it in here, and then you can see what happened. And I wanted to keep this and show this for you, is all that precipitate is stuck on the glass that came out of the Deer Park, but we are left with a nice, fresh, clean looking glass of water here that doesn't have all of the junk in it. And we're going to talk in a minute about what that junk is. And this is another little bit of a mystery. This is Aquafina. Okay, so what I want to show you here is there's a little bit of cloudiness, in the bottom here, but really not a whole lot. I mean, not what I anticipated. And so my theory on this one is that Pepsi has admitted that Aquafina comes from tap water, which is this. And so I think what they do is just use tons and tons of chlorine to really get rid of the toxins per se. It kills it off. But what's going to happen is once you put the ionic sulfate minerals in here, all that chlorine is going to evaporate. And that's the part that you're not seeing, is that clear, invisible evaporation of all the chlorine. So obviously, yes, it doesn't have all the chemical stuff in it because it's killed it off, but you still don't want to drink tons and tons of chlorine. And certainly if you're using that kind of chlorine in here, it's killing off all of the good minerals that you want to have. The next one that I was pretty perplexed with and surprised about is the Fiji. And I actually did it twice because I couldn't believe my eyes. This is, you could see in there what that looks like. This is what I started with, and I actually did it again just to again get it in the same glass as the first one, and you can see just what all is in the bottom there. I mean, so my point with the Fiji is, this is like the #1 selling premium water in the United States, and when you read the website and you educate yourself about it, it really does look quite impressive. I mean, it comes from the Fiji Islands. It starts with better cloud precipitation. It goes through the rainforest. It goes through this very natural process, the same as we're talking about with the ionic sulfate minerals, where it's actually putting minerals back in your water. When you look at the mineral content of this water, it's impressive. And the process by which it goes through this volcanic rock, it doesn't touch any human hands. It's even extracted from beneath the surface. So what this tells us is, and we already know by testing waters way out into the Arctic, is it doesn't matter where the water comes from because it's all contaminated. Water as far as the Arctic, where thousands of miles away from human habitation, still has plastics and pharmaceuticals. So that's what we're going to get into next. What is actually this stuff? What is in your water? Well, it's pharmaceutical drugs. Those are non-organic matter. They are synthetic matter. Your body's only going to absorb so much of that. And then what happens is you excrete the rest through your urine. Well, it has to go somewhere. It doesn't disappear. It's the same thought that you want to have about, when you're cleaning your toilet with harsh chemicals, that blue chemical stuff that you can't even stand to be in the bathroom with. That has to go somewhere. That's ending up in our water. And so the ionic sulfate minerals, what they do is they create this natural process that God created to clean and neutralize all of this stuff. And so you're much better off putting a few drops of that into your tap water and cleaning it out and just getting rid of that precipitate. So you can literally put that in a glass and do that. You can stick it in through cheesecloth. You can put it in through like a coffee filter and filter that part out. And here's your nice clean glass of water. And it's a whole lot cheaper, believe it or not, than the bottled waters, especially these premium, expensive bottled waters. And you're not putting all this plastic back into our world. But what I would strongly encourage you to do, going with this solution, this ionic sulfate mineral solution, is treat your water and then get the filtration system. This thing is fantastic. It doesn't require any electricity. It's all just gravity driven. And so you're going to clean your water with the ionic sulfite minerals, and then it's going to go through this natural process just as it would in the earth, and it's going to clean the water. And you're going to end up with a nice, not only clean glass of water, but one that is loaded with minerals that it's supposed to have, that your body needs. And the whole purpose behind the mineral content is that your body requires these minerals. Remember we talked about how your water is important because it's what is absorbed into your cells and what carries nutrients into your cells. Well, it needs those minerals for that process to make that happen properly. So you put those minerals in there, you're going to be better able to absorb the natural organic material that your body is supposed to be absorbing and that it craves, by the way. Your body was not created for anything but organic matter. And that's what this is, and this is what this helps create. And just this whole synergy between you and the environment, this symbiotic environment that we're supposed to be in, living at one with our universe, has already been created for us. This is just a way in our world today that we can bring it back so we can get rid of consuming all this garbage. Because if you're consuming half of your body weight in ounces every day like you're supposed to be, that's a lot of water. That's a lot of toxins. So you need to think about that and change what it is that you're doing, and this is a great way to do that. So if you'd like to read more information on it, please visit my website. It's beyourultimateyou.com. In fact, Don't take my word for it. I'm going to put a link on here. It's from the Hippocrates Institute that has actually done third-party studies on this water solution. And if you're not familiar with the Hippocrates Institute, it is the oldest standing holistic natural wellness institution in the world. It was started, I believe, in 1953, and they actually did a third-party testing on this water and showed not only what occurs with the water itself, but what happens with human beings when they're consuming this water over a matter of months. And it's pretty amazing. Able to get rid of chronic pain and all kinds of digestive ailments and pretty much everything under the sun. I've got tons of testimonials about it. It just, when you put in what you're supposed to be putting in, which is natural organic matter, what your body will do with that, and it's truly amazing. So get on there and check that out. I strongly encourage you to educate yourself, but this was just to give you a basic idea and let you see with your very own eyes what is in your water and how you can try to avoid that. So thank you so much for being with me and watching this video. Nicole Turley here, always asking you to please be your ultimate